Part 28. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 271. The Secret World of the Galaxy Prison? Spiritual Practice? I see, our national art cultivation has not yet reached the standard. You can't be one in spirit, you can't see that God is not bad, your heart is uncertain, and you can't surrender your heart. That's why when I practice the national arts, my heart throbs abnormally. It turned out to be the heart ape in our hearts that was at work. IP Man said in a fixed voice, a little excited, and then slowly calmed down. Chen Zhen was overjoyed, and his head was more upright. The foundation of spiritual practice, meditation, fetal rest, sitting and forgetting, and manifestation. No wonder, we can't even enter the meditation, only by surrendering the heart ape, fixing the heart, and eternally moving, can we succeed in the concentration. Brother, yeah, isn't this the highest realm of our national arts, seeing that the gods are not bad, and the mind is completely in control of the body. This practice is really powerful. 583 and soul together, can actually do this. Manifestation can touch the structure of the universe, and with the lifting of his feet, he can crisscross the universe for thousands of light years. Even like the Yang God Master of 7 or 8 thunder tribulations, he can extract the power of the infinite dimensional world and reinstate the world. Looking at the excited Chen Zhen, Yaman was also secretly happy. Don't talk about that, let's try it first. It's not a difficult thing for us to settle in. The most important thing is the fetal breath, so that the soul can be in harmony with heaven and earth, the unity of heaven and man, and the energy of the world to be combined into a holy womb. It's like an immortal primordial baby, but it's not much stronger than that. IP Man advised, this young man, don't get carried away for a while. Then, Yaman looked at his light curtain, and a task prompt lit up on it. He thought for a moment, then said, cultivate as soon as possible, and you can do me a favor when the time comes. Do you have a mission? It has something to do with your apprentice. Chen Zhen was excited for a moment and came back to his senses. Hearing IP Man's words, he naturally thought of this stubble. IP Man nodded. Yes, I'm going to do the task soon, the reward is very good, it's a high-level exercise, the 5 Emperor's Great Demon Fist. This fist technique, even in that ultra-dangerous galaxy prison secret world, is a top-notch martial arts technique. Practicing this fist method can condense the 5 holy fetuses. 5 holy fetuses? You're not kidding me. This holy fetus is not an immortal primordial infant. A powerful holy fetus, it can be refined at will into a galaxy like the solar system. Spanning tens of millions of light years in the universe at random is like playing. The holy fetus light's own energy is comparable to hundreds or thousands of solar systems, not counting its ability to absorb infinite dimensions and unavoidable power. And your punch method can condense 5 holy fetuses. How strong should this be after the manifestation and condensation of the holy womb? Among the quasi-monomer level, they are all strong. Chen Zhen knew that such a powerful technique would appear in the Origin library at that time. I don't know how many points will have to be consumed to see the whole book. And if IP Man's task is completed, these exercises, with his relationship with IP Man, will definitely be completely visible. So, Chen Zhen immediately said, go, Tower of Origin, time accelerates. Remember to send me the time of the quest, so I can set an alarm clock for the source. The two of them did not hesitate and immediately rushed to the Tower of Origin. When he entered the Tower of Origin, he almost collided with Hong Yu, who came out. Hong Xian didn't care, and Luo Feng on the side looked at the light curtain. Well, why is this Holy Grail War match so slow? It seems that before the Holy Grail War begins, we have to look at the forces of all walks of life to attack the Valkyrie world at the end. As Luo Feng spoke, a dragon roar suddenly sounded in mid-air. There is a Western fantasy dragon soaring into the sky, flying in the sky. There is also an Oriental dragon, hovering upward, soaring through the clouds and fog. If you read a violent novel, go to Fila Novel Network. Moreover, there are phoenixes, suanwuo, unicorns, and other divine beasts, crying. The king of Shang who travels around with the heart moon fox and enjoys life, and his divine bird immortal bird is also among them. What's going on? There are so many divine beasts, what are they doing here? Luo Feng asked in surprise, looking at those divine beasts and demon beasts from all walks of life, gathered together. How can Hong 11 know this? He had just come out of retreat from his own world, and because of the scientific expedition, he hurried to the Origin Library to speed up the time to make up for the study. It's just coming out now, so who knows that? Hey! Want to know? Please. The sound of underbeating appeared. You don't need to listen to the sound, smell the smell, you know that Zhang Hulan is coming. 0. If you have something to say, if you have a fart, let it go. Luo Feng glanced at Zhang Hulan and said lightly. He knew that the more he wanted to know, the more he had to pretend to be bland, only in this way could he not be led by Zhang Hulan's nose. Zhang Hulan smiled and waved his hand at his friend in the cafe in the distance. Walked over to Luo Feng and Hong Xian, and there was no nonsense, just said. It's Luo from the Dragon Maid Dragon Band. The Dragon Maid Dragon Regiment, Luo Feng and Hong Xian know a little bit of information. Is also the snack dragon Connor who likes to eat, and he is often seen in Master Abe's restaurant. The others are really unfamiliar. Zhang Hulan continued. I don't know you either, so I'll make it clear to you. This Luo is in his world and is a creator god. The creator god. Hey, Zhang Hulan, don't lie to me. Looking at Luo Feng with an unbelieving face, Zhang Hulan shook his head. Listen to me first. This Luo is indeed one of the few gods in her world. But her godhead was gone. That's not the point. The point is, that world has a creator god. Its strength is not high, and it can't break through the transcendent 12th order, and it can't enter the quasi-monomer. Luo Feng hit 1.2 question marks. The creator god, but he hasn't even reached the quasi-monomer? Zhang Hulan ignored his question mark and continued. It's actually quite easy to understand. Although she didn't really belong to the great universe creation god before, that is, at least the powerful strength of the single level. But what she has is actually the divine authority of his world, the creator god. However, his godhead was lost. And today is the day of her godhead's restoration. She, Luo, was restored to the authority of the creator god. And, because it's been with the Origin for a long time. Therefore, its strength has risen even more, and it is estimated that it has reached the realm of a single-level powerhouse. Touched the realm of a single universe-level powerhouse? That's amazing. No wonder so many divine beasts and monsters will go to celebrate together. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 272. Huh. Connor, you didn't go to Luo's party. I saw a playful little girl, wearing a pink satin cheongsam with embroidered flowers on it. This man was none other than Connor. She carried a bamboo basket in her hand, stretched out her little hand, took out small things from the bamboo basket, and handed them to the people passing by. When he walked to Zhang Hulan and others, he also took out small objects from the bamboo basket and handed them over. Reaching out to take the object handed over by Kong Na, Zhang Hulan asked what he said. By the way, from the space ring, he took out a cracked ball that seemed to be a little black. When Kongana-chan saw this, her eyes were suddenly attracted, and her saliva flowed down uncontrollably. Woo! Luo held a banquet and called those demon beasts to participate. Then he told me to come and give a blind box that we made ourselves to the raiders who didn't come to participate in the fight. I'm so tired. Connor05 said, leaning towards the edge of the ball. I know this is Huang Rong of Peach Blossom Island, and the specialty dish of the northern beggars Hong Kigong, called flower chicken. It is a long-tailed chicken specially raised in the cave of Xianshan Blessed Land, and the soil is where Guanyin is located, the mud at the bottom of the South China Sea. Are you going to give it to me? Hong 11 and Luo Feng really don't pay attention to what they eat. Suddenly, when she heard Connor Chan's words, she was a little dumbfounded. Good guys, this is the world of foodies. Where the Buddha Bodhisattva is, the soil of the sea must also be contaminated with Buddha nature. At the end of the end is the finest extraordinary materials. And what kind of long-tailed chicken? It sounds like an ordinary name. But the one that is specially raised in the immortal mountain blessed land cave heaven is definitely not a low-level product. One by one, you are all engaged in cultivation and have gone to study food? Zhang Hulan smiled and shook his head. The dark ball was actually a layer of soil, and under Zhang Hulan's shake, it suddenly turned into fine sand, but it was golden. A touch of Buddha's light shines through, especially like opening the light to the long-tailed chicken. Co-author, don't you not only kill, eat, but also exceed? For you. As soon as Zhang Hulan's voice fell, Kong Na Chan couldn't wait to take a bite and directly swallowed the whole flower chicken. I gave you Connor Chan, you're delicious. The blind box you gave me, it will definitely make a good deal. Connor Chan's eyes narrowed, and she waved her right hand and gave a thumbs up. I don't know if I am praising this delicious flower chicken, or affirming Zhang Hulan's words, or all of them. Kongana Chan and Luo Feng handed over the gifts, and they didn't go far, but just wandered around the Origin Tower and the Origin Library to give gifts. What are you going to do later? Zhang Hulan asked while opening his blind box. When I opened it, it was an ordinary blank piece of paper. When I opened it, I saw that it said that I would like to invite Connor-chan to eat a good meal. Don't think about it, this must be Connor-chan, she's funny. Hong 11 and Luo Feng's are normal. Luo Feng's is a magical artifact that can be recharged and recycled, releasing a shield magic. Hong 11's is a manual that records the practice of magic. Hearing Zhang Hulan ask, Luo Feng thought about it, and he didn't have any points. Before the points, they were all given to the human body that accelerated the cultivation in time and gave birth to the spirit body of the 5 elements. In the past few days, I have been matching, waiting for the Holy Grail War to come, and at the same time brushing up the secret realm of dungeons. Hong Xian still needs to review his homework, while beware of his own world's martial arts father. The last time he did a real-time dynamic dungeon, he had already seen a lot of fate screens. It's not all, but I've seen a lot. For example, not long after, I will soon meet the Zen Silver Yarn Woman. If you read a violent novel, go to Filu Novel Network. I'm fine, I'll go back to see my wife later, it's almost time to give birth. Luo Feng was thinking about his wife and children, as Zhang Hulan and Hong 11, who were still single dogs, they couldn't understand this feeling. As he was talking, 2 people walked out of the Tower of Origin, it was Chen Zhen and Yaman, who had just entered not long ago. Although it seems that it has not been long ago, in fact, the 2 of them have been accelerating their cultivation in time and immersed in the cultivation of spirit, will, and soul for a long time. As soon as Chen Zhen walked out, his heart and mind moved, and when he saw Hong Su, he remembered a long time ago. It should be said that just now, I almost accidentally bumped into Hong 11. For Hong 11, he still knows. After all, that person's immortal martial arts, and the cultivation of the Yang God's soul, came from this flood world. There is also the world of Na Luo Feng, the devouring system, and the law divine body cultivation system. Hong 11, I almost bumped into you just now, I'm really embarrassed. Hongshu forgot about this stubble in a blink of an eye. After all, sometimes inspiration erupts in practice, and he hurried to retreat and practice, and he didn't see it. For example, I can sometimes write a large paragraph of an article when I have a burst of inspiration. It's fine. Hongxian smiled and waved his hand, but in his spiritual awareness, he noticed that the two people in front of him were completely different from the previous aura. This person who is talking to himself, although he has the aura of the essence of human immortal martial arts, is not rich, and he has obviously just come into contact with it. But for no reason, when Hongshu faced the two people in front of him, his spiritual thoughts trembled, and he would feel a trace of constant immobility, eternal and consistent atmosphere. I have practiced the 490 Metta Sutra, this top secret art of the divine soul. The spiritual sense is naturally not bad, and he has already practiced well, and he can manifest his possession, which can be regarded as a master. The next step is to prepare to break through the ghost immortals, survive the 9 thunder tribulations, and achieve the Yang God. Therefore, a person who was only above and below the transcendent first order just now suddenly became a strong soul will. The physical body is different from the human immortal martial arts, and it seems that the depths of the physical body have also undergone extremely subtle changes. It's a bit like a genetic drug, which strengthens the body's genes. Could it be that these two people are going down the path of genetic strengthening? No, the gene enhancement potion can't be done to the point of strengthening the soul at this stage. I feel that after you have been in and out, the world has changed. Hongxian's thoughts flashed, only for a moment, and then he sighed. Chen Zhen and Yaman glanced at each other and smiled. I only heard IP Man say. In the next leaf, Your Excellency is right. It's not something to hide. We have an epiphany in our hearts, we have gained benefits, we surrender our hearts, our spirits are settled, and we forget ourselves. Surrender to the ape, settle down, and forget about yourself? Which system of practice is this? It is somewhat similar to the entry at the beginning of the Ghost Fairy Yang God system. Luo Feng and Zhang Hulan muttered about it in their hearts. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 273. It can't be a new system, and I haven't seen the original news announcement. Zhang Hulan muttered, guessing. Luo Feng also nodded in agreement, thinking to himself, can this system be comparable to his own devouring system? However, Luo Feng is afraid that he will be disappointed, because even if he takes the entire world where the Snow Eagle brothers are next door to touch the big three of the prison, I am afraid that he will have to break his head and bleed. Hongshu thought to himself, the beginning of the ghost and immortal is the soul in and out of the body. And according to IP Man, it seems to be different. IP Man smiled. This is a cultivation system called the Galactic Prison World. Because I practice the traditional art of killing the enemy, in my heart, the heart ape is born in the origin. But unintentionally, when I saw the Buddha preaching the Dharma, I was enlightened, broke the shackles of my heart, and surrendered to the heart ape. A new cultivation system that is rewarded by the origin. Is it really a new system of practice? This can make Luo Feng and the three of them feel very interested. Even if the cultivation is not high at this time, it is not yet the time to integrate multiple systems and sharpen oneself. But for every new system of practice, it is necessary for all practitioners to retain their interest. Master IP Man, that means you don't box, but instead practice the new system of the soul. Surrender the heart ape, will you be like the great sage, and become a fighting Buddha? Zhang Hulan said with a smile. But it made Yaman and Chen Zhen smile. You're really right, surrender the heart ape, and you can really become a fighting Buddha. However, we only have the basic cultivation of the new system, and we must complete the task before we can put the complete system on the shelves of the Origin library. IP Man said, telling the new system, all kinds of realms, and mysteries he obtained. The three of them were stunned. Especially Luo Feng, he is the most empathetic to the cosmic scale. And what kind of saintly beings, at will in the universe, can span hundreds of thousands of light years, or even millions of light years? Are you kidding around with me? So what else do you need a spaceship for? And this is just the foundation. The Holy One who comprehends the path of the law and condenses the Godhead, can achieve the true God. It seems that it is with the law God body of its own devouring system, which is somewhat decent. But among them, there should be a difference, but it's very big, but I don't know what the follow-up will be, and it's not easy to say. The three of them digested IP Man's words in their hearts, and they all thought that they were afraid that another powerful cultivation system was about to be born. Even, in the Origin library, in the system that has been announced, it is the top cultivation path. I can only hope that Yaman will finish the task and let himself experience the strength of the cultivation system. Thank you Master IP Man, just say that your basic information is of great help to my soul advanced ghost immortal. Even, it can affect the cultivation of the physical martial arts, thank you so much. Hong Shu Jens said that IP Man was just about to wave his hand to signal that he was not polite. Who knows Hong Su, he continued. However, it would be great if you could get the job done quickly and get the Origin on the shelves. Ha 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 ha. As soon as Hong 11's voice fell, Luo Feng, Chen Zhen, and Zhang Hulan beside him laughed. IP Man shook his head with a smile, and then said, I'll tell you the truth, the mission is about to begin. If it weren't for the mission, I wouldn't have consumed all my points to use the Origin Tower's accelerated cultivation. Do you need help, you just say. Hong 11 said directly, just thinking about the first time to see the style of new knowledge. Luo Feng's eyes also lit up, just waiting for the match of the Holy Grail War, and whether he can get it or not, it's hard to say, maybe he can have a mission. But IP Man just shook his head. This mission is a source-limited mission. Only me and Chen Zhen, two raiders who have practiced the new system, can participate. Thank you for your kindness. IP Man gestured, and then continued, read the violent novel, go to the Philo Novel Network. Moreover, the Origin will not give a mortal task, but it should not be difficult. Puff. After Yaman finished speaking, Zhang Hulan burst out laughing. Seeing a few people looking at him with disgust, Zhang Hulan hurriedly said, Ahem, I laughed when I heard Master IP Man say that the Origin didn't give me a mortal task. If you're just brushing up on the multidimensional secret realm, or the Doomsday secret realm, then that's fine. After all, you are in retreat a lot, but you don't know a lot of information. When Zhang Hulan spoke, she also looked around, and then as if she saw something, she pointed over there and said, Look over there, there's the figure with a tombstone on his head. When IP Man and the others heard this, they saw that they were really alone, with a few of his companions. But on his head, there was a tombstone. Everyone knows these people, mainly these people, from the same world. There are several kendo celebrities. It was Yegukin, the lord of Bioun City who flew outside that day, and the white-clothed Westgate blowing snow. And the one with the tombstone, I don't know who it is. Soon, Zhang Hulan told everyone. That man's name is Scoop Picker. A few of them went to a mundane world to do a mission, but they failed. You know, they did the mission that time, but they had a transcendent 10th order existence. This is a strong man who is idle for picking stars and taking the moon. But they, in that mundane world, were disgraced by an evil god. Zhang Hulan paused for a moment and continued. That kind of evil god, he doesn't have any offensive power, but it's extremely weird. It seems that if you don't follow the rules and logic of the evil god, you will die directly. Fortunately, Lu Xiaofeng, who had 4 eyebrows, was quick in his mind and found that he didn't need to kill at all. Together with the mortal people, Li Deseo, they caught the evil god. No, in the words of those ordinary people, it should be said that it is contained. That's not the point. The point is that what seems like an ordinary task can be dead in an instant. He was careless, but he didn't drink the resurrection potion in advance, but fortunately his soul was still there, so he was able to manifest his wish. But if you don't resurrect yourself, you can only be in the source, as a lonely ghost. Dare to love, the tombstone on that head represents death, the meaning of resurrection. I thought it was the title of some achievement. And IP Man also knew what Zhanghulan meant. That is, don't underestimate the unfamiliar secret world, so as not to cause unnecessary trouble. He secretly made up his mind at this moment. That is, when doing this task, the first time to do it, first take the resurrection potion. Then fill up the shield and defense, and then talk about the rest. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 274. Yaman said goodbye to Zhanghulan and returned to the martial arts hall with Chen Zhen. As if in another world, a huge amount of spiritual power bloomed in his body. In an instant, it swept across the entire Xiangjiang River, as well as the immortal weapons and magic circles that shrouded the entire island. This is an immortal weapon borrowed from Kyushu, and it is used just in case. Brother Ye, do you feel it? Even in this era of the end of the law, this galaxy prison system can actually practice normally. Is this the magic of the mind? Hearing Chen Zhen's words, Yaman nodded, a smile on his face. In the Tower of Origin, put aside distracting thoughts, subdue the heart ape, and bloom the power of the heart. The power of the mind draws energy, polishes the body, and increases the vitality of the body. Now, in the case of bankruptcy, the points were consumed, and a butt of loans was owed. This world system has already gained a lot. As I said when I communicated with Hongshu and others before, I was already in the realm of sitting and forgetting myself. Meditation, fetal rest, sitting and forgetting, and manifestation. To sit and forget is to sit and forget oneself, with a strong heart, get rid of the shackles of heart and wisdom, and become one with the Tao, and blend heaven and earth. That is, as Buddhism says, there is no self, no one, no sentient beings, and no longevity. The spiritual operation of the powerful 843 can be combined with heaven and earth, that is, combined with the trajectory of the planet, and heaven and man are one. You can bless the huge power of the planet in your body, and from the movement of the planet, you can obtain the energy of the huge cosmic starry sky. Not to mention, at this time, the powerful spiritual power can already absorb the power of the dimension. When ordinary people run out of their own strength, then they will stop. But when you sit and forget, your spiritual power can always absorb the power of the infinite dimension, that is, the plane, and bless your body. What's more, the strong in oblivion can rely on the gravitational pull of the planet to refine treasures or items that contain space. You can even condense a small world in your own body. This is different from the inner heaven and earth of Dugu defeated heaven, and it is different from the law divine kingdom where Luo Feng is located. But the same path will eventually turn into the universe. However, IP Man knew that he was in a state of forgetfulness, and he was just forgetting himself. There is also a forgetfulness in the back, and a forgetfulness. However, it was only just beginning, and he already had the strength of the Origin Extraordinary Fourth Order. Splitting rivers and mountains, smashing islands, or something, it's still casually capable. And because of the blessing of the heart, the spiritual power draws energy. If you don't keep bombing indiscriminately, there is basically no shortage of blue. Moreover, he still has so many potions. This mission must be stable. Chen Zhen, hurry up and finish the task, and let the people in the Origin see it, This is a new system. When the time comes, we won't have to communicate our martial arts alone. Chen Zhen nodded. The mission can't be sloppy. If you fail, there's not even a point for resurrection. I'm afraid I'll have to owe Kyushu a favor again. And with Zhang Hulan's reminder, Chen Zhen naturally will not take it lightly. It must be an amazing existence for such a mysterious system to emerge that can travel through the world. All kinds of things flashed through my heart, and my spiritual power returned to my body. Where's your apprentice? Chen Zhengang asked, and the door leading to the rooftop outside suddenly opened, and there was a sound. Just by looking at it with the naked eye, you can see a sturdy young man, walking beautifully, as if he had encountered something happy. Huang Liang meets the master. Huang Liang restrained his smile and said to Yaman, looking at the inch-headed young man beside the master. Secret thoughts? It's okay in this way, I will go back immediately, and I can have the next person to accompany IP Man. I am also grateful to IP Man for his teaching, allowing me to accumulate so many enhancement points. When I return to the non-body, I am afraid that I will be able to surpass my current strength in an instant and become a truly extraordinary powerhouse. I'm afraid that those who have just awakened their abilities are no match for me. If you read a violent novel, go to Fila Novel Network. IP Man and Chen Zhen, in order not to startle the snake, let the traverser system see the difference. All did not use their mental power to probe Huang Liang. However, they are all too strong in spirit, and the various thoughts that are flashing in Huang Liang's heart at the moment, and the mental fluctuations generated by them, are clearly seen by IP Man and Chen Zhen. Both of them knew that perhaps, this traverser came here happily today, and I was afraid that it should be the day when he would go back. How do you find it? Which martial arts hall did you go to compete today? If you continue like this, the entire circle of Xiangjiang will crowd you out. Even, you are so young and have such a talent, I am afraid that you will be hated behind people's backs. IP Man said casually, quietly. Huang Liang smiled innocently, showing a mouthful of white teeth, as if he didn't care. Master, it's mediocre not to be envied, their skills are not as good as others, no wonder I. And you just say it, what do you do? Seeing IP Man say this, Huang Liang no longer hesitated, and said directly. Master, I'm here to ask for my resignation. Sure enough, as IP Man and Chen Zhen expected, this sorghum was really leaving. IP Man secretly said in his heart. If this sorghum returns to his world now, it will not be 6 hours before the mission begins. Could it be that something will happen to him immediately when he goes back? A few doubts flashed in his heart, but he said with a normal and calm face. Huang Liang, if you come to me to learn martial arts, you will pay for it, and I will teach you martial arts. Now if you want to leave, you can leave at any time. But don't go out and act in my name, and if you do anything wrong, I'll clean the portal myself. Cut. I'm going back to my own world, and it's a joke that you can catch up with it. If you have the ability, you can come here. Of course, complaining so much in my heart does not mean that Huang Liang has a bad heart. On the contrary, he was very grateful to IP Man for his earnest teaching, and he did not hide any secrets. Also allowed himself to defeat the entire Xiangjiang warriors except IP Man in such a short period of time. Received a large number of enhancement points for the first system bonus. This enhancement point can't be used indiscriminately, after all, this body is not the main body. I'll go back to the body and use it later. Wait for the next crossing, you can directly cross the body. When the time comes, with the assistance of this strengthening point, you will be able to become stronger faster. However, before leaving, there is also this most important bonus point. That is naturally to defeat the protagonist IP Man. Restrained his mind, Huang Liang's face was straight. What the master said, the apprentice will definitely take it to heart. However, the apprentice left this time to go to the west. Maybe in my lifetime, I'm afraid it will be difficult to come back. Therefore, I hope that the master can teach the apprentice one last time. Teach. I want to try my own caddies, maybe it has something to do with the system. Looking at Huang Liang, whose eyes were sparkling and confident, Chen Zhen couldn't help but sigh with emotion. This young man is really iron-headed. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 275. Chen Zhen sighed. After all, don't look at IP Man and himself, they are just transcendent fourth order, and they sound very weak. But the cultivators in the origin have reached this realm, and aside from other things, the weakest one is also the one who can split mountains and break mountains at will. And he and IP Man still practice to absorb energy from the soul and strengthen their vitality. And the most intuitive performance, that is, himself and IP Man, only need to improve their vitality a little more. The physical body can directly resist at the center of the nuclear explosion without being harmed. That's tens of millions or hundreds of millions of degrees. Such a terrifying life force, how can ordinary people imagine it? Therefore, don't underestimate the transcendent 12th order of the in the origin. After all, after passing the transcendent 12th order, he is a powerhouse who has touched the structure of the great universe. They are called quasi-monomers because they can be counted as monomer reserves. And judging from the current situation of the source, in the days not long after this, quasi-single and single powerhouses will begin to spring up like mushrooms. These days, I haven't seen many strong people from all walks of life, and they are very low-key. It's all in retreat. Chen Zhen's thoughts were flying, and he thought a little too much at once. In general, it is with the strength of Chen Zhen and Yaman's extraordinary fourth order. Even in the modern world, where nuclear weapons are dominant, if they want to destroy the world, it is not something that the modern world can resist. Give some time and give the planet a bath, it's still fine. As for the present, this sorghum is inexplicably challenging. Perhaps, on an ordinary apprentice, it should be an ordinary challenge. He is an apprentice who wants his master to teach him one last time when he leaves. But the yellow sorghum in front of him is not an ordinary person. So, his challenge must have something to mean in it. Just as they were thinking, a message was transmitted to the light curtain in front of the two of them. It's a message from the Origin Intelligence Elf. Looking at this information, Chen Zhen and Yu Yuan understood why the sorghum was challenged. Dare to be affectionate because if you win, you can have your own system of rewards. Just like the Origin Raiders, doing quests or farming monsters, will give points, and even drop equipment, gems, etc. It's no wonder that this kid will be excited after learning martial arts, so he will recruit people to challenge, and the stronger he will fight. In addition to his own martial arts talent, there is also the help of the system. However, your kid is too disrespectful of teachers, and he actually has the idea of becoming a teacher in order to earn a reward. Yaman said secretly in his heart, but nodded with a smile on his face and said, Huang Liang, since you have said so, I should have promised you. But let's stop there, don't worry, I'll do it lightly. Huang Liang smiled innocently, but his heart was secretly happy. The most important reward enhancement point can be obtained, but he is still worried that IP Man will not agree to fight. Well, for the sake of the master's face, it won't win too much. Lest the master lose face in front of this new apprentice. Huang Liang is very confident in himself, after all, he is the protagonist. Walking to the center of the martial arts hall, IP Man stood with his hands tied. Master, be careful. Wang Liang shouted, put on a Wing Chun stance, and raised his legs to leap up. Smack! Huang Liang suddenly felt a pain in his head, his body was crooked, and he fell to the ground, with a look of unresponsiveness on his face. What just happened? Why did I fall down before I could exert myself? Huang Liang got up in one go, looked at the leisurely master didn't believe in this evil, and jumped up again. But he was greeted by a blink of an eye, and his head hurt and he fell to the ground. At this moment, he only felt that his brain was buzzing. No way, it's absolutely impossible. It seems that he is going to use his own tricks. In order to get the reward, Huangliang is out of the way. Among the system rewards, after picking the Xiangjiang martial arts gym, a heavy reward was given. A real martial art, Tianshan folds plum hands. Although he did not cultivate his internal strength in this era of the end of the law. If you read a violent novel, go to Filu Novel Network. There is also no reliance on strengthening points to gain internal force. But after practicing the loose hands, he will definitely not be able to resist IP Man's Wing Chun. Huangliang got up, and his eyes were colorful. Master, be careful. Click. Still fighting. Hearing Yaman's words, Huangliang came to his senses. Even Tian Shan folds plum hands, is not the opponent of Wing Chun. Is this Wing Chun so powerful? I'll have to check it out with the system when I go back. Thousands of thoughts flashed through his heart, but when he heard Yaman say, he got up and hurriedly said with a bitter face. Master, don't fight, don't fight. The master is really amazing. If I didn't have to go to the West to study, otherwise, I would have to study hard with the master. Huangliang left with some heartache. Of course, the surveillance of him was not broken. Just now, the move he used was Tianshan folding plum hand. Chen Zhen said leisurely. This martial art is the master of Buddhism, Gumazi, who came out of his world. It seems that this traverser should be rewarded from that system for obtaining this martial art. This ordinary martial arts. That's right, Tianshan Fold Mei Hand has everything, and it is indeed just a very ordinary martial arts knowledge in the origin. In the Tower of Origin, the bottom is free to see and spread at will. Including the various martial arts collected by the various factions of Great Qin and the world before, or collected by Peach Blossom Island, or other martial arts. These are just ordinary martial arts knowledge. Whatever. We just have to wait for the task. When the two of us get the 5 Emperor's Great Demon Fist method, then our cultivation method will save a lot of money. It's just a pity. Except for the two of us who do the task, you can get it for free. The origin is the only way we want to teach. I thought before that I could rely on this martial arts to exchange for a large amount of points. You've got a good idea. Chen Zhen complained to himself and continued to look at the light curtain. Luko, who has been restored to the authority of the gods today, uses magic to create small worlds at banquets. In this way, the magic experience is imparted, the power of the creation gods is demonstrated, and the laws are applied. I have to say that the law authority of the creator god is more important in the eyes of many bigwigs. However, that's not what I can do right now. Chen Zhen continued to watch the live broadcast, and it seemed that now, the Pokken Elf World Kanto Alliance, the Quartz Conference had begun. Today, the round of 32 is already underway. Brother after completing the task, let's go watch the game together. My family Photon is very interested in Pokemon. When the time comes, let my sister-in-law bring the children with me. IP Man nodded, but he also thought it was good. Take a break, combine work and rest, and suddenly your eyes moved. Hey, Huangliang, this guy has made a move. Enter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 276. Huangliang left the martial arts hall opened by IP Man Tiantai and immediately went to the dock. Glanced deeply at IP Man's direction. When I preach to the heavens, I will definitely come back, so that I, the first master, will also have that eternal vision. Even if it is thousands of years later, my yellow sorghum will fish you out of the long river of time. Secretly making a promise, he quickly made his way to the ship on the dock. This is a search for a ship bound for the west. However, he didn't really go to the west. Instead, he came to the bottom of the cabin and shivered. The whole person turned into a bright white bead out of thin air, and then disappeared into the void. This scene also happened to be seen by IP Man. Master-apprentice bond takes effect, bond linkage mode is activated. You can go to the world where your apprentice Huangliang is located at any time, or be summoned by him. Number of uncompleted tasks in this world, 1750. Note, this world is not connected to the origin, and the speed of time is uncertain. Master-apprentice bond? IP Man was puzzled, he had long forgotten about this stubble. Looking at the information prompts related to sorghum, the previous prompts appeared, and then it was suddenly realized. However, the speed of time is uncertain. In other words, the two worlds have different rates of time flow. Fast or slow, uncertain. Is the same as this one, the Demon Boy Neza world earlier. However, after a few days, the Demon Boy Neza was invited to the origin by Shilan Neza. The speed of time has been determined at this time, and it has been pulled into the same time flow rate as the source. So, his task is to enter the world of yellow sorghum within 12 hours. But compared to the world of sorghum, it may only be a few seconds, or it may have been years, decades. When his thoughts were flying, Chen Zhen beside him was swaying in the open space of the martial arts hall. The spiritual power manifested around him, and the slightest trace of energy from another dimensional plane was pulled and absorbed by it, turning into a little starlight. However, this time there is not much meta-energy. After all, it is a demonless world, and the requirements are not too high. Seeing that IP Man looked over, Chen Zhen nodded at his light curtain and said, "The new hip-hop music produced by Origin Hip-Hop Music Company is written and composed by two real people. Shilan Lijing's family Ding Wang Er, and the ninja hip-hop superstar, the eight-tailed man Zhu Liqi Ruby's first collaboration single. It is worthy of being sung by two top hip-hop masters, and it is also worthy of being created by two real people. Just listening to it, you can stir up your spirits and amplify your spiritual power. The power of words and spirits contained in it is truly breathtaking. IP Man is not good at this mouthful. It's just that I didn't expect that Chen Zhen, a kid, still listens to songs, and he still listens to hip-hop style. This thing should be heard by young people. Oh, I forgot, Chen Zhen, in fact, is also a young man. As for the power of words and spirits, whether it is magic or immortal law, there are related words and spirit powers. In fact, it is the power of words and words. However, the words and expressions are already profound. This requires great mana, and a master who has attained the Tao can have such power. However, seeing that Chen Zhen listened to it excitedly, he was still sharing it with his girlfriend Photon on the side, and IP Man didn't bother. Instead, I looked at the time, and there was still a long time before the mission time came. So he released a lot of food from the space ring and placed it on the table. I'll practice for a while, there's some food here, you can do whatever you want. Chen Zhen nodded, and Yaman sat cross-legged. I don't know how long it has been, but there is a reminder in my mind that there is only 1 hour left until the mission time. IP Man looked at Chen Zhen, who seemed to be on the rooftop, talking on the phone with his girlfriend. What a young man, who doesn't understand the horrors of marriage. Yaman shook his head, opened the source information, and looked at the live broadcast room. If you read a violent novel, go to Filu Novel Network. For example, in today's Quartz conference, the top 32 players have all come out with results. Pokken trainers from the Origin occupy 1/3 of the slots. Even, there are gambling forces from all walks of life who have joined forces and have begun their operations. Interesting. IP Man muttered, and he was also interested, and with a little small hand, he bought a sunny boy with blonde hair. It is none other than the Ninja Alliance, the son of Bofeng Shuiman, Naruto Uzumaki. And Lukoya's banquet sermon continued. Now the sermon is the great sage of the demon clan, Sun Wukong, the master, the golden cicada. He also came from the journey to the West Demon world today to preach. I don't know how the world over there is now, whether the exorcist has started the journey to the West. And in a live broadcast room on the other side, Yaman saw that it was a live broadcast of the confrontation mode, the end of the female martial arts mysterious world. The confrontation mode, which has just appeared now, is of course the multi-dimensional confrontation mode 0. For example, the Azura's secret realm, the battle mystery realm, the angel hunting witch. Wait, it seems that one of them should not appear. What is this Angelo Hunter secret realm for? It is also against the Protoss, but this secret realm is labeled as an exclusive non-cultivator. It is a pity that many LSPS have lost their eyes full of long legs. And the Azura's secret realm, or the battle mystery realm, the Black Soul secret realm, and so on. This is the secret realm with the theme of fighting against powerful gods, from the weak to the powerful. Even the Black Soul secret realm among them is particularly terrifying, and the sealing power is like that of mortals. But use the rusty sword to fight against powerful monsters and even unknown gods. And in addition to these against monsters, there are also raiders competing against each other. For example, the secret realm of the technological battlefield allows participants from all realms to be thrown into islands, dense forests, battlefields, and other places to experience various technological weapons and fight. Or Summoner's Rift for a team-based experience. Each has its own merits, and different people are involved. And like the Holy Grail War, it's still matching. In front of him, in the live broadcast screen, there is a secret realm of confrontation between the Valkyrie of the End. However, as discussed in the previous origin, it would not work to ask the armies of all walks of life to suppress the realm and directly slaughter the gods and demons. Apparently they were wrong. The source did not let them, directly side by side. It's conditional. 1.9 That is to go to the battle with the gods in a dignified manner, and if you win, give permission to open the secret world. In the picture of the live broadcast room, many barrages floated by. IP Man ate a dried fruit, looked at it carefully, and learned some information. 13 battles with the gods, as long as you win 7, then we can go over 7. Yaman muttered, but he didn't know the strength of the gods in that world. But he still knows the strength of the non-origin. At the same time, he didn't wait to watch the development of the mysterious realm of female martial arts in the live broadcast room. On his light curtain, the mission prompt popped up. However, it seems to be different. IP Man looked at the task prompt suspiciously. Master-apprentice bond activation. Off-site distress from apprentice Huang Liang. Message, Master, help. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 277. Huang Liang panicked. Since IP Man's return to the world, his cultivation has been smooth. Is different from the end of the Law era on IP Man's side. In my own world, which may be called a revival of spiritual energy, ancient cultivation has begun to sprout. But those at the top of the supernatural are those who have awakened their abilities. After all, cultivation, from weak to strong, requires a long time to temper and cultivate. And the awakening ability is equivalent to mutation. Whether it's a body, or a superpower or something, as long as there is a mutation, under this huge population base, there will always be some variation that is beyond the norm. For example, if someone has a mutated body and wings on his back, he is like an angel, able to control energy and fly to the sky. There are also human brain mutations, and the spiritual power can be separated from the physical body, possessed, hypnotized, and manipulated the mind, which is extremely weird. There are also people who can manipulate energy, evolve elements such as earth, water, fire, and wind, and release magic and immortal magic. Some of them are strong and some are weak. Huangliang consciously acquires the system on his own, and will be able to surpass all this. After returning from IP Man, he practiced martial arts by strengthening points. While killing those ubiquitous mutant monsters, after all, the Life-05 lives on the planet are not just humans. And the most troublesome thing is not those jackals, tigers, and leopards, but the original inconspicuous insects, such as ants, mice, cockroaches, and so on. And Huangliang, who knows how to do things in a low-key manner, will not get the system, just like the second in the world, my boss. Instead, he secretly developed, accumulated energy, and carried out a second crossing. This time it's good, I crossed directly into the flesh and went to a martial arts world. This time, just like in IP Man's world, he also went to find a sect, and then became bigger and stronger step by step. In the end, the world is invincible, and the beauty is in the arms. It's a pity that I still can't live forever. So after saying goodbye to the beauty, I came back immediately. This time, it can be regarded as a fruitful harvest, even if the strength is exposed, it will not hurt. With the innate strength of his martial arts, it is more than enough to protect himself, and he can only be afraid of the powerful total firepower of the human race. Originally, according to the routine of the novel, it should be a routine that I occasionally pretend to be in the city, and then continue to cross the routine. But why, it's become like this? It all started more than 10 days ago. In the middle of the sea, an island appeared inexplicably. After investigation, it turned out to be the corpses of countless mutated giant beasts under the sea, piled up together. The sea, nowadays, is a forbidden place. Especially if the coastline is directly close to the deep sea, it is even more dangerous. Think about it, how powerful the already huge sea giants should be after mutation. From the ordinary coastline, there is a mutant sea monster invasion, you can see its strength. If it weren't for the complete industry of the human race, the powerful firepower, and the people with awakened abilities to resist together, I am afraid that it would be really dangerous. But now, there are so many mutant trolls that have never been seen or heard of. Now, they have all turned into shriveled corpses, all squeezed together. It's like countless trolls gathering, but they are pinched together by a big hand. And after an in-depth investigation, there was an astonishing discovery. For example, on this corpse island, the energy is extremely strong. The periphery is dozens of times that of the outside world, and the further you go to the center, the energy density is hundreds of times that of the outside world. No wonder the magnetic field is so disordered, even from the sky, it is impossible to detect the center. For a time, this treasure naturally attracted everyone's attention. Sorghum is no exception. Maybe this time by accumulating enough high-level energy, maybe you can open up a powerful world. Just go to cultivate immortals, not necessarily. With this thought in mind, Huangliang naturally set out with the others to explore the secrets of this island. Thanks to the sea monster's obstruction, as well as the disturbance of the magnetic field. As a result, this island cannot be occupied by the major land powers. So, as long as you find a way to bypass the warship in the distance, you can go straight to the island. Of course, you have to pray that there is no attack from the powerful sea monsters. Obviously, he is the child of destiny, and the aura of the protagonist is added. There is no danger, and soon they will arrive at the corpse island. This island is truly amazing, and from the outside, it is not a big island. If you read a violent novel, go to Feel a Novel Network. But when you step into this land of corpses, you will find that there is something else inside. It's like entering a continent. Huangliang was secretly excited, absorbing energy while looking for good things. But soon, the danger of the protagonist comes. This is very common in routines. Treasure hunt in distress, according to the routine, should be thrilling. These dangers, that are all to send experience and warmth. But I didn't expect Huangliang here, it's different. The mysterious man was like a strange ghost, just standing within a few hundred meters of him. Will be suppressed by that inexplicable force, the physical body can't move, and the spirit is a lot sluggish. In particular, it is not possible to use the system to teleport away. Because this place seems to have a strong gravitational pull at all times. This gravitational pull bursts out all the time, but it can strangely avoid humans. At the same time, the entire island is no longer in the real world, but in the dimensional world. Or what the West calls the plane world, or the East calls the cave world. And the energy here is dense because it is always connected to other dimensions and draws energy. Speculate based on the information given by the system. In the center of this island, it should be the source of gravity, the source of the power of the dimension. It is advisable to flee immediately. It must not have been naturally formed, but artificially made. Factitious. This can make Huangliang very shocked and frightened. 623 What kind of powerful force does this have to be? It can mobilize gravity and open up dimensional caves? It can even communicate with other dimensions and draw on the power of other dimensions. I'm afraid it's not a fairy. So the system's suggestion to escape, Huangliang really wanted to take it? But now the situation is that I have been arrested. Lie down. Huangliang's eyes swept around, and this was the heart of the island. And this island is a round sphere. This center is the place where the gravitational pull is always emanated. In the middle of this huge clearing, a figure floated out of thin air. It was a young man with a handsome appearance and gorgeous clothes. But at the moment, it was like falling into a deep sleep. And around here, there are people who have been captured for exploration just like themselves. All right. Originally, I thought that these people were hiding and cultivating. Unexpectedly, they were all arrested here. Among them, there are a number of awakened powerhouses who often appear in the news. In other words, what is the relationship between this black shadow and that body? Also, what are you doing with me? I'm just a weak innate martial artist realm, and these 2 tails of meat are not enough for the big guy to stuff his teeth. What to do? Help. System update. Master Apprentice Bond function online. Existing close Master Apprentice Bond, IP man. Do you want to ask the Master for help? Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 278. System update. Aren't you a Traverser Assist system? How can you give me a Master Apprentice bonding function? The system is silent, after all, it is a rigid system. Will only act according to the rules that were preset at the time of its formation. Huangliang also knows this. So it's just a spit in my heart. But the problem is that I have only experienced 2 worlds. The first world, apprentice to IP man. In the second world, there is no formal master, and it is completely a matter of joining the sect, keeping a low profile, and practicing on its own. Anyway. Even if you add up all the masters in your 2 worlds, it is not enough for this weird figure to fight alone. But Huangliang didn't want to wait for death, so he could only put aside distracting thoughts and focus his consciousness on the 2-word system information and IP man. Could it be that there is really something unusual about IP man? Not true. In those martial arts halls, one by one, they are just ordinary people who know how to punch and kick. IP man is no exception. At most, whether it is martial arts or skills, it is the top of the list. Calling him here will only hurt him. Although I am not a righteous man and a gentleman, I will not be such a villain and do this thing of deceiving teachers and destroying ancestors. Huangliang secretly thought about it and waited for things to develop here. As time passed, a day, 2 days, until half a month passed. There are more and more people being arrested here. Not only the people, but also the countless mutated sea monsters in the middle of the country are also attracted to this place. But compared to humans, they were directly thrown into the young man's body by the strange and supernatural. It was then sucked into shriveled corpses, and then merged into the small planet of corpses. And today, after sucking up a number of sea monsters, the Black Shadow took on a human form, like a black, distorted phantom. But there seemed to be a trace of blood-colored cracks all over his body. Haha, the body of the sage polluted by the abyss, this is the best cave heaven dimensional world, and it can even practice holy weapons, or the sacred mecha that rivals the sage. And even your heart is polluted, the holy one. The law sage, the great Deo sage, until the final mixed UN Deo fruit, the virtual godhead. I didn't expect you to be a sage who has condensed a law avenue. A strong man like you can interfere in the void and penetrate more than a dozen planets with a single blow at will. The energy is comparable to the stars of the great sun. Now, all these things for you will be done to me. However, the polluting power of the abyss is really terrifying. It is said that the saints who can see through the success or failure of the universe and penetrate all dimensions of the soul, even if the great tribulation comes, the saints whose hearts are still immortal can be corrupted and polluted. The strange black shadow, looking at the young man's body, was distorted by phantoms, and was talking frantically. But Huangliang can understand these because he has a system and translates. Others, that's incomprehensible. They are afraid, angry, forbearing, or their hearts are dead. Huangliang was secretly shocked. What the hell? Sage. A sage who has condensed a law avenue. Energy rivals the sun, the stars are destroyed at will, and the physical body is still the world. And what abyssal pollution! As a traverser, Huangliang knew that he would definitely travel to the higher world in the future. There must be powerful cultivators there. Destroying the stars, destroying the world, there will definitely be. But in particular, I'm still in the novice village. You're going to give me this trick? If I were the protagonist of a novel, I would have to jump to my feet and curse. Complaining frantically, venting fear and shock. In front of such a strong person, this entire planet is a fart. Moreover, sorghum is also for sure. The so-called revival of Aura must be his ghost. But why is that? Bah! Regardless of why, the first thing to do now is to run for his life. After escaping for his life, he immediately crossed and never came back. If you read a violent novel, go to Feel a Novel Network. Unless you have reached this level of strength. And in front of him, the crazy black phantom made another move. I saw him shoot hundreds of dark shadows all over his body, escaping into the bodies of those awakened people. Then, in an instant, those awakened people, all of them loved each other, turned into pus. And those dark shadows that were originally pitch black didn't seem to have changed much. Wrong. Those blood-red cracks disappeared a little. Haha. The Starry Sky Shadow clan, once had a clansman enter the main god group by chance. There's a secret technique in it. This is the secret art that can be used to possess the body, and then transfer the curse pollution. It worked. Humph. Let your soul and wisdom be like fire, secretly leading me to protect you, but taking the opportunity to pass on the abyss pollution to me. Fortunately, I noticed it in advance, cut off most of the pollution, and scattered into the void. Let the nearly 10 billion creatures in this world bear this pollution. Wait for me to dispel the last pollution of your body, and then wear out your mind, master your body, and extract your genetic memories. It won't be long before I can return to my clan as a saint and be admired by all people. Boy! Huangliang's heart trembled again and again. It turned out that the so-called aura revival was indeed caused by this black shadow. but there is accursed pollution that seems to be an abyss. However, Huang Liang thought about it, why did humans absorb it, but nothing happened? On the contrary, he also awakened the ability or something, and he also awakened the system. But now is not the time to think about that. This guy is wearing away his curse little by little, but every time, it consumes dozens or hundreds of lives of the awakened ones. Soon, it's going to be your turn. Huang Liang secretly felt anxious. Hint, please use the master-apprentice bond for help as soon as possible. The system prompt sounded, and Huang Liang returned to his senses again. Hint, please use the master-apprentice bond for help as soon as possible, okay, okay. A continuous beep came, and it seemed to be very urgent. Obviously, the host of sorghum has been detected, and it is in danger at the moment. System, I'll find an ordinary person to come over, do you think it's useful? Hint, the state of master-apprentice bonding prompts, IP man is fully capable of dealing with it. Ha! What international joke are you playing on me? IP man is a boxer, able to deal with this, a monster that can crisscross the starry universe? But the prompt of the system is so sure that it is displayed in front of you. Couldn't help but make him feel deeply puzzled. Then, why don't I shout and see if the master will come? Huang Liang thought to himself for a moment, watching the shadow fall in front of his eyes. The person in front of him directly turned into pus and flowed to his side, and the entire open space was filled with the smell of blood. Open the master-apprentice bond for me and use the opportunity for help. Leave me a message. Master, help. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 279. You will all die, and Jesus will not save you when he comes. Assert. The black shadow of the self-proclaimed Starry Sky Shadow clan let out a strange laugh. In the body, wisps of dark shadows burst out, with a trace of blood-colored abyss pollution, submerging it into the human body, transferring and purifying. Meantime, originally, what was cut off was thrown into the entire planet, hooking up the energy and causing most of the pollution of the aura to recover. It's all over the planet at the moment. Among them, the best ones who absorb these polluting energies are these awakened people and mutated monsters. Especially those monsters with huge sizes, the body is inside, and the pollution energy is even stronger. So, just in case. He then captured countless huge mutant monsters and fed them to the sage. Let the body of the Holy One, and the soul that struggles when it is dying, continue to be polluted. But, at this moment, the void suddenly rippled as if it had been swept away by stones thrown into the lake. Then, two rays of light flashed, and two figures suddenly appeared one in front of the other. It was IP Man and Chen Zhen. It's a lot of spiritual power, and it's the power of the abyss. Yaman frowned, and said to Chen Zhen's spiritual transmission. Abyss, they poured 787 is not seen with their own eyes. However, there is a residual abyss power in all walks of life for everyone to see. They have both seen it and recognized the power of the abyss. Evil, mad, bloodthirsty, disordered. However, it is more concerning. There is such a majestic spiritual power here. This power, familiar to them, seems to come from a homologous system. Moreover, with the self-forgetfulness of the two of them now sitting and forgetting the primary, they can also tell that this power must be beyond sitting and forgetting. At least it's a spiritual powerhouse for manifestation. But don't wait for the two of them to communicate more, after all, they know that it is Huang Liang's life-saving mission. So as soon as I came out, I was on guard. The Shadow Man, on the other hand, was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect that with his ability to block the dimensional space, someone would be able to break in. It's certainly not easy. However, when IP Man and Chen Zhen came here, after taking a look, he laughed and said, "Two humans who sit in the realm of forgetfulness are just self-forgetfulness. I'm almost forgetful. I don't know how you came here, but stay and let me swallow your mind and body." Chen Zhen and IP Man were awe-inspiring. This guy doesn't look like a good person, but he really practices the same system. Moreover, his cultivation is still above the two of them. But the gap is not big. Perhaps for ordinary practitioners, this gap is very large. But for both of them, they have the confidence to bridge the gap. Your Excellency is so rampant, I'm afraid you don't know how to write dead words. IP Man was directly scolded. At the same time, his heart surged, and fist shadows filled his body. The fist moved as he pleased, matching with his body, and instantly rushed towards the Shadow Clan. Looking for death. Darkness. With a loud roar from the Shadow Clan, infinite darkness erupted from his mind, instantly turning the place into pitch black. It seems that in this darkness, not even light can appear, and it is all absorbed by pure darkness. And in this darkness, where you can't see anything, you can't even hear anything, is the Shadow Clan's natural secret skill. Bang! I heard a loud bang, and in the darkness, a dazzling white light suddenly lit up. This white light turned into a shield, surrounding Chen Zhen and Yaman, and under the beating of countless shadows, it was unbreakable. At the same time, I saw Chen Zhen's ears move slightly, and I heard him say, "Found it?" The next moment, Chen Zhen took a step and left the light shield. "Idiot, you dare to go out of the magic weapon protection." The Shadow Clan scolded, but realized that a pair of powerful fists fell straight in front of his eyes. It was filled with dimensional power, and it was wrapped in the power of the soul and smashed it directly. If you read a violent novel, go to Filu Novel Network. In the fist of the Buddha, he held a dimensional plane 1, AFC. AHH. The Shadow Clan screamed in pain, and the dark sky magic disappeared in an instant. His entire figure curled up into a pitch-black phantom, and several blood-colored stains flowed. "So weak." Chen Zhen muttered, but he didn't want to think about it, he was just in the shield. How many buff potions were knocked in that instant, and there were buffs. In addition, this Shadow Clan is indeed a bit of a light enemy, and there is also an abyss pollution in his body. So just by looking at the face, he was seriously injured. Use this. IP Man didn't make a move, and the matter was solved, which was really easy. As he spoke, he threw out a glass ball that appeared to be transparent. This is an immortal Dao sealing magic weapon, produced by Great Qin. In terms of effect, at least non-special beings below the 6th order of transcendence cannot break the seal no matter what. In my ears, when the black shadow was sealed, the sound of the mission being completed was heard at the same time. This also proves that it is completely reassuring, after all, it is the origin certification. IP Man appeared, and Chen Zhen seriously injured the black shadow with one blow. It happens in a matter of seconds. The human awakened people who are still in stock, and the yellow sorghum who shouts for help, are all in a state of confusion. "Master! You! Tell me, is this IP Man? System, you come out and explain to me, what is the situation?" Said that the world of good movies is the world of ordinary people. I also apprenticed with him to learn martial arts. Yaman looked at the sorghum and shook his head. "Let's not talk about that, let these people go. It's not all done here." As he spoke, IP Man looked at the young man. "If this thing is not handled well, then whether your planet, or even the galaxy, is still there or not is another matter." Yaman's words, the people on the side heard it, and their legs and stomachs trembled. Is this hellish galaxy dangerous? However, they also heard what IP Man meant to drive people away. No fool chooses to stay here, thinking about getting a piece of the pie. That's purely looking for death. Don't run away now, but when? Brother, yeah, this is not easy to deal with. Chen Zhen frowned and said. I talked about the secrets in the soul of this dark shadow. I'm sure he's from the powerful world of that galaxy prison. Then, the young man in front of him was a powerful man. Moreover, it is a sage who has condensed a great avenue. This shadow man actually wants to refine this person's mind and body. The ultimate goal is to refine the avenue that this person has condensed, in a vain attempt to ascend to the sky in one step. What a fool, the heart of the sage, how can it be so easy to perish? Chen Zhen said teasingly. Then he looked at the young man fixedly, squinted and said. You say yes, this great Dao sage. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 280. Announcement of the Heavens. Epiphany from IP Man and Chen Zhen's hearts, complete the task, and open a complete and powerful path of cultivation. The emergence of a new path of cultivation will of course attract many people, the first time to see. If you are weak in cultivation, you should have a long insight, or look at the cultivation methods in this path to see if there is anything that can be applied to you. And those who have cultivated to a high level, those who are quasi-monomer strong. They begin to think about it, to integrate it, to get the most suitable method of cultivation for themselves, or the path of cultivation. Xiao Yan has made new friends in the past few days, which is called stirring, and when the time comes, he will bring them to play together. While Zhang Hulan was talking, the announcement of the heavens came. Go. Hong 11 beside him has been paying attention to this, and immediately got up and left. Let's go check it out too. On Luo Feng's shoulder, Bubita ate the small cake in his hand and said to Luo Feng. Luo Feng nodded, forgetting about Yehei and the others. Let's go, the path of cultivation, you can't slack off. Pangbo scratched his head, a little headache. Being with these cultivation maniacs every day seems to be under a lot of pressure. In the past few days, he was thrown by Yehei in the ancient forbidden land to study with the red-haired holy body. From time to time, he was summoned by the red-haired holy body to the current people. For 3 meals a day, he has to prepare food for Master Abe's restaurant. Forget it, I ate it anyway. And don't give money yourself, every time you go, you pull out a few elixirs in the ancient forbidden land to change. You can also fill your own pockets, exchange points, and go to communicate and fight with Miss Succubus. Or go to open the box, buy magic weapons, etc. Pangbo muttered in his heart, and got up very reluctantly. After all, today was the red-haired holy body with great mercy and gave himself a day off. I really don't want to spend it in the library, and get along with the succubus lady, not to mention how refreshing. But obviously, Yehei is not going to let himself go to mess around. And it's not the same as the source. If you link the identity owner, you can view it directly online. But alas, they can only see the realm of the spiritual path, and the explanation. But for them, it's actually enough. After all, the realm can represent many things. The premise is that it is not the same as the original positioning. What an extraordinary 1 to 12th order, something that can see a fart come out. Or quasi-monomer level, the same is true. At most, I know that this realm touches the structure of the universe, and the combat power can shatter the galaxy and even tear the universe apart. Fortunately, this system from the galaxy prison world is not as simple and straightforward. Dugu defeated heaven woke up, his body trembled, and his chi and blood surged, as if he could slaughter the sky, but it was instantly restrained. Then take back the distraction of the water forum, water information, and water live barrage. It's about to break through, the king of the kings. In my opinion, it seems that they have all become weaker. The inner heaven and earth are already much more complete, and have become a real world. Although it is a small world. But with the complete law, life can be born on its own. This is going to be more treasures from the predecessors of the Tongtian saints. Wait for me to break through to the monolithic body and cleanse this evil heavenly way, and then go and visit the Tongtian saint seniors in person to show my gratitude. Dugu defeating Tian muttered, and the light curtain flickered. Dugu defeated boy, get up quickly, come and see something unbelievable. The one who sent a message to himself was the Tongtian sect master. What could it be that the saint should be so praised? What's wrong with the origin? Looking at it again, it turned out that it had just come to the new system to announce. If you read a violent novel, go to Philo Novel Network. The galaxy prison world is actually the origin, and the word powerful is used. No wonder this way will make the saint also appreciate. This must be unusual. The way of the heart. Dugu defeating Tian looked at the past carefully. And the characters that write each realm, with the realm information. When it is imprinted in your eyes, it seems that you will be fascinated and your heart tremble. Finally, in a state of agitation, he muttered. Compared to the weakest reincarnation, our strength, even if it is the power of the evil heavenly Deo, is just a fine dust. Subsequently, Dugu defeated the sky's eyes with resoluteness, and his eyes penetrated the world. No, the evil heavenly Deo can't stay. I must join the origin as soon as possible and enter the origin heavens. Dugu has a premonition, as long as he starts the battle of cutting the sky. Then, at that moment, it is the time for oneself to enter the source. At that time, I don't know what the expressions of these old friends will be. After thinking about it for a moment, I made a decision. By the way, in the online library, I sent a message. Dugu defeated the sky, 1,000 words, gathered into a trough, cattle batch. Demon subduing Rula, the first taboo god in ancient times, don't gradually get closer to Kyushu-san's sculpture netizens. Quan Wang, I'm so bored, brother Yuanzu, open the Cosmic Martial Arts Conference to relieve your boredom. Corpse Immortal Emperor, True Self Yuan Shen will thank you to the predecessors of the Yuan Lord for awakening my original thoughts, but unfortunately, with my current state, I can't carry out any cultivation. Tongtian Sect Master, hey, are there actually two newcomers who are linked to the identity? Look at your name is the Immortal Emperor, you are the world where the physical treasure is located. Corpse Immortal Emperor, Ben yes, but that world can only be regarded as a plurality of time and space in the same material realm. I'm in a time when it was countless years ago. Moral Sage, I see, the time is different, but why do you say that you can't practice? Corpse Immortal Emperor, Ben it's really a shame to say that I cultivated as an Immortal Emperor below, but I was attacked by several Immortal Emperor level masters who were unknown and outside the world. And was polluted and blackened by it, so he cut off the unblackened consciousness and physical body and exiled. Then block the strange pollution outside the unknown sky and protect the heavens. Now, I have been awakened by the predecessor of the Yuan Lord. It's said that this place can help me practice. Yuan Shi Daoist, yes, this soul can indeed help Taoist friends practice. And this way is so clever, I am far from it. Hung Jun, the road is endless, and you must not be presumptuous. Saints, what the master said. Tongtian, by the way, teacher, Sister Nuwo has not been seen for a long time. Hung Jun, ahem, you just take care of yourself. Saints. The Corpse Immortal Emperor looked at the light curtain, and while remembering Yuan Shi's words, he looked carefully at the so-called soul. This was a new path of cultivation that had just appeared, and he hadn't seen it yet. However, if your true self is sealed, can you really practice? Immediately, I took a closer look. Again.